Let's get drunk at the director's garage.
Oh, yeah. Can't get enough of it. Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Woo! Welcome to the live stream, the first live stream of 2025. It's the Humpday Happy Hour Hangout here at the, I'm a little hungover, at the Director's Garage live. There it is. All right. Hope you guys had a safe and happy New Year and good celebration over the holidays. Didn't get to go on the air, obviously, on Christmas Eve. I wasn't going to go on the air, Christmas Day, whatever it was, a week ago. But yeah, here we are. We're back. We're back for the new festivities, and got the atriums rocking. I got to get this off my head. Oh, see, there it is. This is my party festival. You know what? Forget that. We're going to go with this one instead. Now this screams Happy New Year. If that doesn't say it, there it is. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome. It's been a couple of weeks since we did a live stream, so got a light kind of going off to the weird depths of the world on the other side there. It's not pointed right. But I went out of town. I went to San Diego, and then I went to Tennessee to see my mom over Christmas. I'm looking a little dark. Let's shed some light on the subject. Never a bad idea. And so I went to Tennessee, and on the trip, I brought 2 headphones that are relevant to this show now. I brought the Noble FoKus Apollo, and I brought the Focal Batiste. Because I've been readying this shootout, and I almost shot it before I left, and then I'm like, nah, you know what, I'm going to bring it, because it may change my opinion of the headphones, actually using them in a trip situation. I mean, they're travel headphones, both of them. And where are they? They're right here. And you can see right away one of the issues with one of them. This is the Focal. This is the Apollo. Literally twice the baggage. So that's one of the points we're going to make when we do the shootout video, which is written, but now I have to open it up because my opinion of these 2 headphones changed. The results of the shootout changed based on real world use. And that's part of what I do on this show, is I try to give you guys real world application. Not, what does it look like on a chart? What does it graph like? I'm like, how do you use these? How do they sound? Are they actually useful? Are there things about it that I would want different, practical review material? I don't try and focus on the bullshit that everybody's peddles. I try to talk about, this is what I like about it, this is what I don't like about it. And that changed from based on my travels. I actually went in, pardon me, cheers everybody. Welcome to a Humpday Happy Hour drunk day. Now, I did have some wine last night, and I had a little champagne. So I was a little buzzed, man. I was a little buzzed. And we'll get into the chat in a few minutes, guys. Just put your comments in there. Anything you want to talk about today. I don't have an agenda. This may not be a long stream. Maybe it will be a long stream. We're just going to play it by ear. I got nothing to do. So I thought, let's kick off the year right. We're going to dedicate. We're going to do more shows this year. We got stuff coming up. The 10th. I know I'm jumping all over the place. The 10th of January. If you're in LA, the Patreon crew is heading to the Audeze factory. We have an exclusive tour of the Audeze facilities for our Director's Garage guys. So if you're in SoCal, or you're going to be in SoCal, or you want to come to SoCal, I have such a mishmash on my desk right now. Shoelace. I'm replacing the shoelace on my boots, and I brought my shoelace down here to measure it and order on Amazon. But if you're in the SoCal area, on the 10th of January, we are heading down to the Audeze factory in Orange County, and we're going to be visiting. They're going to give us a tour of their new factory. I've been there before. I was there when I first got the electrostatic, the carbon, because they did a driver tweak on me because I was getting. The driver flex was so bad when I got that headphone, I almost couldn't use it. And so I took them down there, and they did an exchange for me and swapped the drivers for me to some new thing. But it doesn't have the base port, whatever the hell it's called now, the SLAM technology invented that the Carbon 2 has. But I went down there and I saw their factory. They took me back and they showed me like where they print the traces for their drivers, all the stuff. It was really cool. It was very interesting, and we're gonna get to see because they've now doubled their factory space so that they can produce headphones for Sony, for the PlayStation stuff. And the drivers inside the PlayStation branded headphones are from Audeze. They're producing all the drivers. Even the stuff that's branded Sony or PlayStation is coming from Audeze. In addition to their Maxwell series, which is obviously, the popular gaming headphone. And I've even seen some people say somewhere, I read that the Maxwell was somebody's favorite Audeze headphone. I'm like, wow, that's a statement. With the LCD-4 and all that out there, damn. Really good stuff, man. So how y'all doing? You having a good New Year so far? Did you have a good holidays? Whatever you celebrate. I went down. We were in San Diego for a day to visit my in-laws, and then we went out to see my mom in Tennessee. We're contemplating relocating the home office to somewhere in Tennessee in the next year. It's going to come down to my work situation here. If I can't find work in LA, we're going to have to pack up shop. It just doesn't make sense for us to stay here, given the expense. This house alone has, this is going to shock some of you, our property tax, just the property tax on this house is $25,000 a year in property tax. We don't have kids. We're not getting $25,000 worth of service out of this house, out of the county at all. But our property tax is $25,000 a year, and our energy bills are average about $1,300 a month for energy, and that's not including like internet and all that other stuff. That's on top of it. Just water power is $1,300 a month. So it's really, really expensive to live here, and we could continue trying to scrape by or whatever, and I could take some job, which would be a downgrade for me, just enough to make ends meet. But it's not going to be very fun. It's not going to be good for this show. I may be looking to do something in Tennessee where I've got a lot more opportunities, a lot more possibilities. I could go teach. I don't need to make the money that I made here in LA. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of reasons to do it. So we're considering it, but I'm still leaving the possibility open that I could get a job out here. It's just after 3 months of looking, and I'm getting a trickle of job offers and they're all like single one-off days, like come and work on this project for this day, come and work on this project for this day, run this premiere, do this, it's not enough to keep us busy and active and making a ton of money to keep everything, keep it easy, make life easy. So those are the reasons. And in Tennessee, everything is much less. My mom has it's not as priced as high as this house, but she's got a really nice house and pays $1,000 a year in property tax. You know, there's no state income tax in Tennessee. There's a huge income tax, like 10 or 12% in LA, in California. All of these things, 10% sales tax. You know, they tax on top of tax, and gasoline is $5 a gallon here now in winter, and it shoots up to $7 sometimes in the summer. So it's crazy. So there's a lot of considerations, but Tennessee would make sense, and my mom's there, so I could go and see my mom, who's, you know, she's in her later years, so it would be nice to spend time with her while she's still here with us, because I love her to death. So there you go. Though that's kind of what the trip was about. And like I said, I brought both of these headphones. And I tell you that because you guys sometimes are like, what the hell's going on? You know, obviously we haven't been posting as many shows in the last month. And that's just because I've been so hard looking for jobs and trying to get stuff organized and figure things out. And no time to, you know, it seems like making shows a #1 priority while I'm out of work. You know, I'm dumping money into something that doesn't make any money. This show makes so little, guys. I mean, it for all intents and purposes still loses money based on what it costs me to keep everything up and running and have all the stuff to make the show work. So dumping tons of time into this when I'm out of a job seems like kind of a silly exercise. So I still love the show, and I want to make more shows, and hopefully we get back to making a ton of shows, but focusing on finding work has been a priority for sure, and it will be going into 2022 as well. And I know it's got to be a little bit frustrating on your end because you're used to like getting episodes every week, every 2 weeks at the worst, and now it's been like once a month. It's been once when I can get to it. So and I know that, you know, and it's killing my subscriber base. I mean, it's like the show's growing so slow now. It's like I get 30 subscribers a month, and that's just because it's volume. And I do the live stream because it's easy and it doesn't take a lot of time, and I can just, you know, click on the stuff. We all meet up. We say, hey, we talk about whatever it is we want to talk about, and then we go about our week, and I can, you know, continue on with the other things I'm doing. And I don't want to sell the Patreon folks who have been so loyal and wonderful, and that's been such a gift to my life. I don't want to sell them short either, so I'm still making sure we're getting the Patreons in every month and getting good guests. Holy God, was our guest last month phenomenal with Raul, visit from Raul. And we've got, I think it's going to be Trevor from Norn will be in January in a couple weeks probably. So we're going to learn all about cables and why I'm wrong. And, you know, I'll ask him, why am I wrong? Cables, like, they look pretty and I think they're great, but, you know, whatever. These are the two headphones that I brought. I'm jumping all over the place. I'm sorry, guys. It's like disassociated theater. These are the two headphones I bought. Going into, I'll give you some hints. Going into it, doing the A/B comparison in my office here in the studio, in the home studio, Focal Batiste was my choice by far. Pure Sonics, everything else, Focal Batiste really took it. In practical use, this headphone changed my mind while I was using them. I used both on a plane. I used both of them in various situations while we were on the road, and completely remarkable. And I'll explain all about it when I get that episode out and cut and off to you guys in the most entertaining way I can, because that's what we do around here. Right. Let's get to some hard stuff. Let's get some soda in here. You guys getting a lot of listening in? What are you listening to? Anything good? God. I haven't, you know, obviously I haven't even fired up the system for the new year yet, because we just got back into town. We had a couple of folks over for New Year's Eve for a little celebration here at the house, and got up today, and now Mrs. Director and I went on a a little hike through Griffith Park. We went and saw there's an area at Griffith Park. It's so cool. There's an old zoo that was abandoned. There is a zoo in Griffith Park. It's the Griffith Park Zoo. It's phenomenal. It's it's LA's big zoo, all that. But there's an old zoo from the 20s that was there first. And all of the enclosures, all of the built-in like cages and all that stuff is still accessible to the public. And you can walk through and you can look at like, this is where the polar bears were. Like, holy shit. Like, they were mean to animals back then, boys. It was not pretty. But we went and we did that hike. Just nothing major. We just did a couple of miles up in Griffith Park. And, but just to stretch our legs and get out she wanted to go someplace we don't normally go for our first hike of 2025. So silly. What the hell? Let's keep with the festive. I can do it. I can do this. I am multi-talented. I can do a show and have a stupid hat on at the same time. I don't have the Twizzler thing for Happy New Year. All right, let's get to the chat and open it up for you guys. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, feel free. Put it down there. Hipster Cow, cheers, brother. Cheeky Fest, good to see you. How's London treating you right now? Pretty sure you're in the UK. Arthur, good to see you, my friend. Binary feedback, yeah, there we go. Get your thumbs up, folks. Yeah, put the like in the thing. The little thumbs up button down there. Click that. That's supposed to help me somehow. I don't know how, but there you go. We've got a Merry New Year from Nephilim. Just trying to break the trend. Happy New Year. It's not Hump Day here. It just became Thursday. Yeah, you're in the UK. That's for sure. I got a little later start today just because we wanted to go out and get a hike in before we went live. Otherwise, I would have done it. That's the oldest baby New Year I've ever seen. What? Let me tell you, kid. The 2024 was rough. This year is gonna be all different. I don't know. Chris in New York City, Happy New Year. Oh man, everybody's got the libations out. I hope you guys are cracking some beers this afternoon. Why not? Little hair of the dog, never hurt anybody. Nephilim, guys, I'm gonna quickly say that I've been obsessed with the Dire Straits live album set. 8 CDs, and he plowed through the whole thing in 2 days. Holiday time off has been good to him. I should probably stream some of that. That would be fun. Just don't have time. 8 hours I'm just going to be sitting here. Jesus, I got so much to do. I got to pull all the decorations down still. I didn't do a ton, but I got some things. I got some lights up, and I got to pull that down, pull some wreaths down, things like that around the house, just to give it a little bit of a festive flair. We're not like big. My wife doesn't like trees. She's like, don't dare bring a Christmas tree in here. It's a pain in the ass. Don't do it. Chris, here's a fun question. If you were starting your hi-fi journey over right now, what would you do different? Wow, that's a great question. See, I bought the best I could buy with the funds that were available to me at the time. If I had to do it over, I probably would have listened more. I would have listened more to, I would have dove in deeper earlier and tried to make connections with a fellow enthusiasts like we do here. Because I would have gotten better advice. I would have been pointed in better directions, and somebody would have been, if I was listening and if I was connected, somebody would have said to me, I don't think you're going to like the Verite, or you should look at this headphone, because they would have known my taste or whatever. Okay, guys, we have a child abduction Amber Alert. Our first Amber Alert on the air. Wow. Okay, well, it wasn't me. Clearly. Wow, Amber Alert. That was obnoxious. Did I scare half of you guys? LA's under attack. No, Amber Alert. Some kid went missing. So there you go. But I would have established community earlier. That's, and I know that's like, you probably want to hear like what gear or whatever would you not have bought. I don't know that there's a piece of gear I wouldn't have bought, but I think I would have get connected to the audiophile community as fast as you can, and find like-minded folks that have your preference, because you'll save a lot of money buying stuff that doesn't work for you. That it happened to work real well for this show, because part of the fun of this show was I'd buy something incredibly expensive like the Verite, and I'd put them on my head, and you'd see my head, you know, like kind of have one of these, like, oh, you know, this isn't what I like, and I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that. I didn't realize how much I like visceral, exploding bass, and you know, I like headphones that bring me all the things, you know, and I think it's better to be getting in now, because there's, you know, when I first started this, the highest end headphone, if you didn't go back to vintage HE1 or something, you know, absurd like that, the highest end headphone was the Sennheiser HD-800. Then that was really like the first big headphone that came out. That and the LCD-2. Back when I first got started, like those were really expensive headphones. Before that, I had the HD-650. Great headphone, but veiled, and you know all the problems of that headphone. You know, it's a good baseline. It's a great entry level hi-fi headphone. But I didn't know enough about anything. So, yeah, I think I just would have connected more to the community and taken steps that were more assured, or had a better chance of hitting what I was looking for, you know. And maybe the other thing I would have done was bailed sooner on my Sesfara. It gave me a lot of episodes and it gave me a lot of content, but I would have bailed sooner on my pursuit of the perfect Sesfara amplifier. Because it was so hard to drive and I wasn't getting the sound out of it, and everybody has their own path with it, and I'm not saying that, you know, I found the one right way or whatever. I found the best amp for it, or the right amp for it. I found the amp that pairs best with it for me. And that was such a long process and such an expensive process. Guys, I went through so many you know how many amplifiers I went through here. I had the Phonitor, and I had the, you know, look back at all these, I had 200 episodes, like the Phonitor and the all these. God, I'm trying to think back now. I had an old Burson amp here for a while, and the Woo, and I just went through so many amplifiers trying to find the right amp for the head amp, GSX Mark II. I thought for sure that was going to be the perfect Sesfara amp. Wasn't. No, not even close. Like all these things. So I think I wasted a lot of money because of that. Anyway, that's my thought. It's a good question though. And share yours. What would you do different if you were starting over right now? I think Neil would probably say I wouldn't have kids, because kids take all the shit. Binary feedback. He wish he could come to the factory. It's a little bit far, 9,000 kilometers. Nothing like a little plane ride or dig a tunnel through to LA. Cheeky Fest, give Sandy a go, a tenor. See what? Give Sandy a go for a tenor. See? No, I don't. For Tennessee. Oh, okay, Tennessee. Got it. Okay, took me a minute. Took me a minute, got it, Cheeky Fest. What is the property tax supposed to be pay for? The property tax in the States pays for your county services. It pays for keeping up the roads. It pays for your schools, your local schools. It's roads and schools primarily, infrastructure. And LA is so big, and there are so many problems here. Homeless, part of it goes to homeless, solving the homeless crisis. It goes all over the place. And so, it's just and we have 65,000 homeless in LA. And it went down for the first time, and it went down by like 5,000 homeless people. So it's like there's 5,000 fewer homeless people than were on the streets a year ago, which is great, but you still have 65,000 homeless. It's insane. It's insane. And they camp anywhere they want. There's just reasons that it's rough. And Tennessee, the property taxes are next to nothing. They also have bad schools in Tennessee, by the way. We don't have kids. So I hear. But yeah, the schools and all that. Nephilim says, great question. For him personally, he thinks he wouldn't change anything. I think he's progressed properly and really didn't drink too much of the audiophile Kool-Aid, if you will. Maybe I wouldn't have acquired so many records. I've got so many record albums, guys. It's crazy. So it's like the council tax in the UK. Maybe the other, like, it doesn't go to the city of LA. It goes to the county, which is a larger region. So there's, it's not supporting Los Angeles. That's there's sales tax. Some of that goes to Los Angeles. Some of the gas tax. There's taxes that go to LA to run the city. But I don't know that all of that goes to, maybe a part of it. I'm not sure how it's split up, to be honest with you. And then there's a business tax you have to pay to LA too every year. For having any kind of business, you got to pay a business tax. They tax everything in California. It's rough. Chris says he lives in New York City, obviously, and just got a new job that allows him to work from anywhere he wants. Get out of high-cost area. There's a lot of benefits to living in Middle America. Absolutely. There's different there's good things and bad. We like living in Los Angeles because it's a very busy, fun town. You know what I mean? I see it. I see it. I see what you're saying. Does your wife work? Yes, my wife is a therapist. She's very good at what she does. Would the job change be as easy? No. She has to get relicensed. That's not to say it's impossible, but she's going to have to license for a different state because you have to go through boards, state boards, and all that. So it's all possible. It's everything is doable. We're just looking at the whole playing field and just trying to decide what's best. And LA is so crowded right now. There's also a part of us that just thinks, screw it, let's go. But at the same time, it's our home. We have friends here. We have family. We have friends who are family. Some family who aren't friends, but we just want to make the right choice for us as a couple, and what will allow us to get back to the lifestyle we were living, which was fun. It was fun. When you're working hard and money's coming in and everything's rolling along, it's a good time. But then when it stops, like, I don't want to get to a point where we see our money just dwindling away and I'm not making money and I have no prospects and like all this stuff. Like, get out. Like, we'll go find something else to do. Because I don't need to make as much in Tennessee as I would in LA. I could make $75,000 a year, or $100,000 a year, or $120,000 a year, and I would be more than happy. It just doesn't cost as much to live there, and we have our house paid off. Versus here, we have a loan. We've got to make payment on every month. That's the way it goes. Anyway, Yeah, all this stuff is for consideration, guys, and I don't want to bore you too much with it. I'm sorry if you're not tuning in to get the Michael show, but you guys I do let you in on this stuff because this affects everything. So I gotta bring it up. Michael, property taxes are even more in certain parts of Canada. Toronto and Vancouver, absolutely insane. Yeah, in the States, I just can tell you that California is one of the worst states. California, Illinois, I don't know about New York, but Illinois is really rough. LA is horrible, and the state really takes a lot too. It's amazing. But the mindset is so different in Tennessee. It's like you pay state sales tax, and that's it. There's no income tax. So you don't give the state anything out of what you make. It's crazy. Neil says he sympathizes. His annual property taxes are $250,000 too. I assume that's $25,000, or Neil is living in the Hearst Castle. Yeah, it's so much. It's so much, and you get, and it would be fine if we had kids in school and they were in the charter school system and taking advantage of all that. Neither of us had, Allie and I don't have kids, and there's no plans for that now. I'm like, we're paying all of this out. We don't get, a lot of police coverage because we're in the hills. It's not like we have squad cars going up and down the street. It's not like we have, the roads are getting resurfaced every, 2 years or something. The roads are in meh shape up here. Passable, no problems, but it could use a refresh. Nothing would be wrong with that. We wouldn't complain. We're just not getting the benefits, and so and then the state is messed up, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if I get a job, I'd love to stay here because we're living in our dream house. And that's the hardest part of leaving, besides our friends, is that we found the house that we love. We love it here. Love it here. It's my favorite house I've ever lived in, by far. So I'd like to keep it and keep this whole show rolling from here. I have a studio with a view. I look out onto the city right here, right outside on the other side of the camera, and it's fun to do a show where I'm here and looking outside at nature. That's going to be a major consideration in any new house we take, because this is a joy to have a view while I'm doing a live stream. It's amazing. 150 euro a year on property taxes on a California level price house. That's nothing. Wow, that's great. Cheeky Fest says council tax for us 2/3 bed, 2 to 3 bedroom semi-detached suburbs, maybe $1,500 a year. Yeah, and my mom paid $1,000 a year for her for a similar, maybe a little bit larger size, a little bit smaller size house than this one. Anyway, but $25,000, which is about 30,000 pounds. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot for just property taxes. And because we're in the hills, insurance on this place was $7,000 a year last year, and our homeowners insurance tripled, and they may not renew us because for next year. So it's a mess. It's a mess. A lot of bad things happening, but at the same time, I love here. I love where I live. We can walk to nature in 3 minutes, or you can sit here and stare at the city. It's phenomenal. It's really great. It's just unaffordable in our current setup where I'm not working. So got to find a job, boys. Got to find a job, and in the next couple months, or we're going to be moving. That's all there is to it. Arthur says he also He also owns both, but can't do a comparison because the Apollo, is back in New York City. He's in Oklahoma City currently. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, it was a great trip, and I'm glad I did it because it's like that real world thing. I feel like it's more useful to you guys to do that, to give you that kind of review where it's like, hey, I actually took these on a trip. Here's what I discovered. You know. Nephilim says a lot of real estate reform needs to happen. It isn't sustainable. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is out here. You accept that when you move to California, it's going to be very expensive to live here. And I certainly knew that going in. It's not like a surprise. I'm not being shocked by anything. It's just that when I went from fully employed and making a lot of money to making nothing, you know, something going to break, boys. That's basic mathematics. Okay. Hipster Cow says, would the SoCal folks be interested in doing a small hi-fi meetup? Maybe. Let's talk about that offline. We have that group email, and we can just talk about it. If we want to meet up before or after. I don't know what I'll have time for that day, but I'm definitely excited about going down to Orange County and seeing the Audeze factory and seeing it with all of you guys, because that's the best part of this, is we get to know each other. I mean, it's fantastic. Dragon in Harmony by Marson is fantastic. Also On and On by Carolyn No is a good listen. Okay, we have our first music recommendation of the year comes from Neil Snyder. Very good. Thank you, Neil. Fantastic. He is the all-black stealth version of the Betsy's badass. I just got whatever they had. It was fine. I'm good with that. We're all your alibi. I know, right? Isn't it really? San Diego, Tennessee. Got it. Last Rhino says, hardly anyone, maybe 1% of the people, 0.01% of the people who have kids would ever think, let alone say that they wish they didn't have them. Oh, I'm sure. This was a conscious choice we made. You know, my wife and I met when we were old. I was 30. I was 38 when we got married, if I'm not mistaken. You got to do the backward math. I think it was 38. And, I'm like, if we have a kid now, we're going to be 60 when the kid's getting out of high school. Do you want to be the guy who's like playing catch with your kid and, just like, oh, no, it just wasn't for us. Holly just woke up. How you doing, buddy? He's like, grumpy. I was sleeping all day. And now you're here with this nonsense, making noise in the room. Yeah, but we just, so I'm like, we made a conscious decision that we weren't going to have kids. And at that point in time, I was traveling a lot. And I just said, look, you're going to get stuck with these kids. If we have them, fine. If you want kids, we can have kids. If it's a must-have for you, we can do it. Just know that I travel a lot for work, and you're going to get stuck with them a lot of the time. And she was like, no, I don't want them. I'm like, okay, great. We're not going to do it. I never felt that need. Like some guys have a real need. They need to have a kid to feel, I don't know, like they have a purpose on the world, and I don't have that need. I don't need to have a purpose. My purpose is to entertain you all. No. And I failed miserably. Cheeky Vest says in UK it's partly based on the size value of the property. Yeah, in LA it's based on the sale price of the property. And everything in LA is so hyper-inflated price-wise. I did get a break because I'm older, but I would have paid $32,000 a year in tax on this place had I not been over 55. The fact that I was over 55 saved us some money on the property tax. Crazy. Matthew says he would have gotten into tubes sooner. What he would change? He would have gotten into tubes sooner because he appreciates solid state, but tubes let him forget about the gear and get lost in the music. That's a good plan. I like that. That's actually a really nice little tribute there. I like that one. It's great. Hipster Cow says, the last rhino he doesn't know, man. Have you met Neil? UK, there's income VAT tax, inheritance tax, council tax. Yeah, road tax if you own a vehicle. Yeah, I'm sure every place has their issues. I just know California is one of the most taxed places in the world, and Tennessee is one of the least taxed places in the world. So moving there, plus my mom's there, and there's an element to that that's really, at the heartstrings. I would love to be around my mom as much as possible. I was blessed with great parents. That is a blessing, and I know that's a blessing. A lot of people who had a lot of rough times. We had hard times growing up, a lot of stuff in the family history and whatever, but I had a mom who loved me to death, and still does, and would do anything for me, and I would do anything for her. And if you have that, and we talk all the time, a very healthy relationship. Never had a problem with it. Like, always were locked in with each other, and just like me and Neil. Guys, going to jail. We're all going to jail. Nephilim says, just to follow up on Chris's question, yes, he liked the way he's progressed, but he's not saying he didn't make any mistakes. The mistakes are part of the journey, which is why I don't regret them. Yeah, I don't know that I regret anything. I just think that if I had it to do over again, what I would do is connect with you guys first, as many of you guys as I could, to get better opinions and help me define my own steps. So I would have taken more informed steps along the way. A lot of the stuff I just did on a whim. That looks cool. I would like to own that headphone. I'm going to buy that headphone. And then I'm going to be disappointed by that headphone and hate it. There was a lot of that. And then there were a lot of really cool surprises, like stuff that you put on. You're like, wow, that's so cool. And then I sell it because I have to keep turning stuff over on here. Just to follow up on Chris's question, yes, we did that. Nephilim says, just don't want to present himself as a know-it-all. I'm definitely not a know-it-all. I tell you guys every episode, I'm your idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm a complete idiot. I just do this stuff for fun and out of curiosity, and it costs me. Didn't cost me my job. That was a different thing. Shit also moved out of California. He thinks there's a lot of people who had enough. I guess so. I'm not here to even bash California. California is what it is. You have to know, you know what you're getting into out here. You know what you're in for. It's not a surprise. It doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it easier. But you can't come out here and go, God, I never thought it would be this expensive to live. You should know better. That's your own mistake. That's your own fault. California is what it is. It's just that I'm looking at I want to stretch out our money as far as I can. And if I go to Tennessee, I can pay cash for a house. Pay cash for a house. Just buy it. Just buy it outright. It's ours. Own it. No mortgage payment. Very low property tax, very low insurance, all kinds of reasons. It would make sense if I can't get work. And then I just can work anywhere. I can go flip burgers. It doesn't really matter at that point. I don't want to. I want to keep doing television. Love television. Love creating. Love telling stories. Love all this. It's great. Grow the show to 100,000 million subscribers and retire on my wit and charm alone. Like and subscribe, by the way, fellas, if you haven't. I didn't have any, by the way, I don't have any viewer photos today, viewer systems. If you have viewer systems, please send them my way. All you have to do is send an email to directorsgarage@gmail.com. Send an email to directorsgarage@gmail.com with the latest photos of your system, and we will put them on the show. But nobody sent me anything over the holidays. I guess there wasn't a lot going on. Please do that. It's fun. Harmless. We take a look at the stuff on the air. It's a good time. We just like to check out what other people are digging. It's fun. His parents paid $12,000. We're really getting into the finances. $12,000 a year in property tax for a condo apartment. The building they live in was built in '78. Sound right to you? Yeah, it's expensive. That's really expensive. So my house, that's what my last house was. But the market has gone up so fast, so far here. It's crazy. Neil sent me a photo of the listening chair he bought his son for Christmas. Did you send me that? Neil. Was that, did you send me a, was that an Eames? Oh, you just did. Yeah, you bought, it's an Eames. Did you buy the actual Eames or did you buy the replica? I would probably opt for the replica myself because the real Eames chairs are so crazy expensive. They're like $5,000 for a regular one. That's cool though. I like that. Can I show it to you guys? Not easily. It's $445. Well, maybe. Can I get this over there? I want you guys to see it all. Okay, I can just put it in the Nick folder. Nick was the last guy who sent me photos, by the way. It's not code. Download. Let's see what I can do here. Date modify? No? Oh. Downloads. Oh. Nick. Here we go. We can do this. Sorry guys, I'm going to show you the photo of what Neil bought his son for Christmas. It's nice. Nice chair. I like these things. They were called. I know they were. I know them as Eames chairs. It's the same people who make, same brand that makes this office chair. They also own the permit or they own the copyright on this chair. I can show it to you in 2 seconds. It's going through the process because we don't have a lot to show today, unfortunately. I wish we did, but you know, such is life. So here's the chair. This is called an Eames chair. It's based on a style. It's not postmodern. It's I can't remember, mid-century modern. It's a mid-century modern design. These are real popular in style, but I think this is a lift of that style. The actual Eames chairs cost like $5,000 if you buy them new. There you go. Always learning something, aren't we now? Aren't we now, kids? That's special. Speaking of practical, subjective reviews versus slavish graph interpretations. The former is much more useful for him once you've gotten to know the reviewer. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that graphs are worthless. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't find them tremendously useful. Because there's things you can't graph, but there's things I can explain better in words than trying to find on a graph somewhere. That's just my opinion. Binary says he experiences music. He doesn't analyze graphs. Not for leisure anyway. No. Oh God, no. And it's boring. I mean, that's part of it. It's just boring. DZEJ City says he just dropped by to say Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year's. Cheers, boys. Cheers, everybody. Glad you can make it today. Wrapping up, getting on the back end of our first live stream of 2025. Hard to get used to that. You know I'm going to be writing, but I don't even write checks much anymore. Isn't that something? When's the last check you wrote? I don't even write checks anymore. Everything's like zapped over the phone. It's like, or credit card. But most of the time now, it's like you just push the button twice and stare at your phone, and then it zaps the payment anywhere but in your hands. Chris says he's getting into this now, and something he would do different is buy Audeze Maxwell and then get out. If it didn't exist when he got in, but if it had, he thinks it would have been one and done for him. it just depends on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. I'm not sorry for spending money on something that I enjoy. I'm not sorry for the system that I have here, although it's overkill, admittedly. It's fun. It's fun. It's entertaining. And it's a good subject for a YouTube channel, I think. So far, it has been. If I devoted more time for it, it would be even more. I just don't have the time. But yeah, I think it's. I think that the Maxwell's great. It's just not. Obviously, it's economies of scale. The more you spend, the less you get back, but the better it gets. All that. Economies of scale. Diminishing returns is what I was describing there, boys. Not economies of scale. That's a different concept altogether. Economics minor in one of my old professors just rolled over in their grave wherever they are. You got the term wrong, dude. You're minor. You're making me look bad. Whether he's mad or grateful about it, he's not sure. Well, you can be a little grateful, but even then, you didn't get too deep if you're looking at the Maxwell, because, you can spend 20 grand on headphone stuff in about 30 seconds on any one of these websites like Audio 46. You can go there, buy yourself a big honking amp and a headphone, a couple of headphones, and you'll be at 20 grand like that. It's amazing. Say goodbye to your money. Last Rhino says, interesting, his biggest regrets in audio are the things he sold and wished he hadn't. Yeah, I think that I have a couple of things like that, Last Rhino. I don't think I make it, I haven't made it too unclear, or I haven't been too cryptic about it. The biggest regret I probably have is selling the Sultan, the Noble Audio Sultan that I had, that purple pine cone, amazing IEM. It did everything I wanted an IEM to do, and I sold it and I picked up the super expensive, the Viking Ragnar. I picked up the Viking Ragnar, and the Viking Ragnar runs circles around the Noble Audio Sultan technically. It is a wonder. Everybody should hear that headphone to hear what an IEM can do. It will just blow your mind. It's that good. But it's not my wheelhouse. The Sultan was my wheelhouse, and I would have kept that Sultan. So someday I'm going to get another Sultan. I'm going to have Noble Audio build me a custom Sultan for me. Maybe it'll even be a custom IEM, but it'll be I want one in like one of those really funky, cool shells. And I want to, because John Moulton is the wizard, and he's the guy who does all the handiwork on Noble's custom creations, and he's a genius, and from his hands come amazing creations, and I really appreciate them, and I would like a custom of my very favorite IEM that I've heard so far. Personally, for my personal taste. Is it the best IEM? No, I don't think it is, but it's the best one I've heard that fits my preferences. You understand the difference there, I'm sure. That's a great point, though. I really like that idea. There are things that you wished you had sold that you hadn't. Share with yours if you've got something out there in our remaining minutes. If you've got something out there that went, that was a mistake. I really shouldn't have done that. I'm afraid I'm going to make that mistake with the Alphabet amp. I'm really seriously considering selling the KGS SHV Molnar Audio Carbon CC electrostatic amp, because the Ray Samuels B21, I could take that money and dump it, get Ray some money, which is very important to me politically. I think it's just a way to be a decent human, is to pay people when they he's giving me grace period because I'm not working, and he understands that, And he also knows I'm not going to, I told him flat out, anytime he needs that amp back, please call me. I'll put it in a case and ship it to you immediately. I understand. It's not, but it is my intent to buy the amp. It's just, I can't drop. Throwing $8,000 at an amplifier when our future is uncertain is not a smart move. I don't care who you are. I mean, like, that is idiocy. That would be, that would be like the biggest idiot move I could make. But I would sell and put the money towards something because I don't need the money for day-to-day living at this time. But I do, want to pay him for it. So that would be one thing I would do. So I'm considering that. I'm afraid I'm going to regret selling that. Just a thing. But I would. I think $5,000 would get it done for me on that. That's what I paid for it anyway. I'd just get out of it what I paid for it if I could. Something like that. Somewhere around there. Anyway. Cheeky Fest spent 30 minutes listening to the Aria Stealth, tried the LCD-X briefly, then got the organics. Okay. I've heard a lot of people say great things about the organics. I've also had people say, if you're going to get the organics, just get the HE-1000 V2 or V3, whatever it is on now, whatever they're on now. I guess it's V3. I don't know if I would get the unveiled thing because I think the HE-1000 unveiled or whatever it's at now is like you're asking for trouble, He's gonna say enough one. You're gonna say it. Love Michael's little hat, just makes him happy. That's the point, boys. Have no shame in your life. Honestly, I talk about all of my problems because I have no shame. I have no shame. I don't have. Look, bad things happen to everybody. Everybody's gonna have a rough period. Things are gonna happen in your life that aren't what you expected, aren't what you wanted to go through. You really wanted something different and it didn't come out the way you wanted to. That's life, man. And we all go through it. Everybody goes through trouble. Just stay the course. Stay the course. Keep, you have value. Everybody has value in this world. Things aren't going my way right now, but they're going to go my way again. Because it will. Trust in yourself. Trust in your skills. I know I can do something that few people can. I know I'm capable of doing things that few people can. And I think that has value somewhere. It may not be in Los Angeles right now. It may be elsewhere. But we're going to figure that out. But stay positive. Stay positive, guys. There's no... I think in this entire journey, I had one day where I really felt not great about life, about about the whole thing. It got to me. I'll tell you about it sometime. I probably won't get into it today. But I had one day when I was kind of down, but that was it. And it wasn't the day that it happened. It actually was fairly recently. I had one day where I was just like, I'll talk about it offline. I won't talk about it. But what I'll tell you is, stay positive. Stay positive in whatever's going on in your world. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not the best thing ever. It's just a chapter in what your journey is, and it will be great. You will come out the other side. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Just keep doing what you do. Follow your instinct. Your instinct has gotten you this far. Keep going. Keep going. You're going to be okay. And I keep telling myself that no matter what, wherever I wind up, if Tennessee is our fate, then that's our fate. That's where we'll go. If I'm fated to get a job somewhere else, if AP calls me tomorrow and says, "Hey, we need a top grade reporter. We're willing to pay you," great. Then that's my fate. Then that's what we'll do. Whatever it is going to be a new adventure going forward. Just stay the course. Just believe in yourself, and rely on your friends. We have great friends. We have great communications here, great relationships. You get through anything. Don't let yourself get down. It's not worth it. Not worth it, man. You got a new year. Let's just do it. Cheeky Fest says he made some pics a while ago. Not sure if you've shown them. Send them again, Cheeky, if I haven't. If I haven't shown them, but I think I have shown everything. I don't think there's anything that's escaped me. But send it to the address, directorsgarage@gmail.com. If you can find the old photo folder, just send it over. Just do that. So, but I'll gladly show them to you. I probably have shown them though, because there's very little I haven't. I don't think there's anything I have not shown. Chris NYC says, move to Tennessee, live mortgage free. Make this show in your full-time pursuit. This show can't be a full-time pursuit. I know enough about YouTube and what's successful on YouTube to know that this show at best will get to 150,000 subscribers. And that's not going to be enough for me to retire on, or, and that would be like me doing everything right, like getting 3 videos out a week, which I couldn't do to keep up the quality. That would be having the product to be able to do 3 episodes a week. My max on this show, because I believe my max would be 150,000 people. And that's doing things absolutely perfectly. So it's just the audience isn't there for it. And that's the truth of it. Unless people just like my charming personality, which, you got to see my hate mail, boys. It's not pretty. But this will be a part of whatever I do. Of course, I'm not going to abandon the show. I like doing it. I like talking to you guys. So it's just going to be what it is. But it can't be my main focus when I'm looking for work, because this is a money suck. This whole thing is a money suck. Dexter, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, fellas. Happy New Year's, seriously. Michael Ray Samuels is a smart and caring human being. He gave you that amp to help grow your channel. He gave you an amplifier that can handle any possible headphone out there. I know. But I have to pay him, fellas. Oh yeah, his biggest regret: not buying the Ray Samuels B21 Raider. He bows his head in shame. They're still available, buddy. You can still buy them. But and meeting people like Ray, and all of the folks who have come, Zach, ZMF, like all of these guys who make these crazy great products. That's been like so blessed in the last year, especially because I started doing the Hangover thing and having these guests on, and they all come on. They're excited to talk about their products. Imagine that, and I shared one of them, so you guys get a chance to see what it's about or what it's like. If you're not in the Patreon thing, just to see what it is. Just getting to know those guys and getting to pick their brain and hear these stories about their background and how they got into the business and all that. Fascinating stuff. I love stories, guys. Stories to me are what life is about. It's accumulating and retelling of stories. Ultimately, that's what we do as humans. That's our unique contribution. So great. Matthew laughing. Cheeky says Aria Organics and Topping AD30 Pro hasn't seen all of your lives. Hipster Cow says he thinks his biggest audio regret is buying too many new things too quickly and not taking time to enjoy what he already had. The other part of that is if you change a lot of things at once, does this make sense to anybody? If you change a lot of things at once, sorry, I'm going to just make a little adjustment here. When you change a lot of components at once, you're not sure what's affecting what. Does that make sense? because this amp with this DAC versus this amp with the DAC off the Macintosh, different experiences. And if you don't know what each component does, when you swap out like 3 or 4 things at once, where's the center? You know, how do you know what each thing does and what each thing sounds like? You need a bass. You need a bass line, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, it's good. I mean, it's great. But you know, it's great to be able to do that. It's fun. It's fun when I get a bunch of new crap in here and I'm swapping stuff out. Yeah, I almost swore. I don't care. Totally understand. You know, it's really fun when you get all of those new things. But you have to be able to isolate and tell what each thing is doing to the sound. You know, you've got to keep the same playback device, which is in my thing. But you know, like if I'm using the KN8 on, you know, and pairing it with this headphone and then swapping to this headphone, if I change the player along with the headphone, this sounds different than the Astell&Kern AK240. It just does. Not better, not worse, just different. You're not sure what's affecting what. You know what I mean? So that's something you need to do. You need to have a control as you're changing out all this stuff. It's so fun to do, though, when you get all the new yeah. Thrilled. Binary feedback. Your LCD-4 review was what got him into this channel. Obviously, how much you love the music and hearing it in a fresh way brought new life to it. It's authentic in a way that many aren't. Well, I just share my thoughts. I mean, because there's 1,000. There's 50 shows out there that are doing audiophile reviews. So what are you going to do to be different? You know what I mean? For me, it was going to be about experience, not technical. I wanted everyday. I wanted practical. Everybody uses lofty terms, doesn't bother to define them, doesn't. You know what I mean? Like they like to make themselves sound smart. And they'll throw terms in that are vague, defined but vague, in order to make themselves sound smart. And I don't want to do that. I want to tell you in real practical terms, this is what I liked. This is the kind of music that I thought it excelled with. This is the kind of music that I thought maybe not so good on this one. This is what I like about the headphone. This is how it feels. People discount comfort. I didn't want to discount comfort. People discount style. Style is important. Best looking headphone on the planet. Period. ZMF Atrium, aged. My opinion. Not afraid to say it. Abyss 1266 back there, TC. Ugliest headphone on the planet. My opinion. Sounds great. Not attractive. But, you know, I want to talk about everyday stuff. That the experience of living with some of this gear. And raise issues about, you know, and thoughts about that. Because I think that's interesting. I think that's what I'm interested in. And hopefully you guys are interested in it too. When I talk about, you know, a headphone that gives me nobody said, you know, nobody has said anything about this. You know, this is the best noise canceling experience I've ever had. I've had Bose headphones. I've had these headphones. I've had IEMs that cancel things out. I've had super blocking. This is the best noise canceling experience I've ever had, bar none. And it's more important in actual practice, in actual travelers, because this is a travel headphone, practice, way more important than anything else about this headphone is that it runs for 60 hours with noise canceling on, and it has the best noise canceling system I've ever experienced. Blows this headphone away in noise canceling. And I thought that I wouldn't even, and you don't even, you know, if you're just listening to them in a normal situation, you don't need the noise canceling on, even. It's fine without the noise canceling. Get on a plane, though, it's a different world. And this will change your, this makes plane travel very different. Very different. Still don't like the size of the back. Got to work on that, Noble. We'll get to, but that's going to be in the next review. That's the next big thing I'm doing. And then we're going to get into this topping, or this Eversolo R6 that Audio 46 sent my way. It's a demo unit, and I've been demoing it for about a month, and oh, I love this thing. This would be a no-brainer buy if I had money. But excited to get into that review. I'm going to talk about all the things about it that I like. So good. So good. Okay, last couple guys, and then we're going to go and set you guys loose on your New Year's Eve or your New Year's Day extravaganza listen-a-thon at home. Plus, you got my got me into My City Was Gone. What a bass line and song. Oh, yeah. A.O. Way to Go, Ohio. Pretenders. And one of my favorite albums of recent years was that Pretenders album, Hate for Sale. Oh, I love that record. It was such a punky, badass... What a punky, badass album by the Pretenders in their golden era, you know, their golden age. Chrissie Hynde is pushing 70 years old, if she's not 70 already, and she put out a punk album at 70. Badass woman. Badass woman. One of the greats. One of the true, absolute true greats. Did it all. Has done it all in this business, and still can make one hell of a record. I haven't heard what their latest album, but something to do. Anyway, last couple guys, and then we'll set you guys on your way. What headphone lets you forget about the gear as of December 24 and lets you enjoy the music? Oh, there's too many of those, man, Matthew. There's too many of those. Ah. I think my simple answer would be Sesfara OG. But honestly, this headphone, the Caldera, the Meze Elite, because it's just so comfortable, you just forget about what you're doing and you just suck it in. But and there's different headphones for different situations. I like these. I like too many of these damn headphones. That's the problem, boys. LCD-4, great headphone. It's hard to forget the LCD-4s on your head, though, because it is a heavy headphone. But, oh, there's so many great products. Just great products. These are a joy. But yeah, I mean, my initial thought is the Sesfara, well, OG Sesfara. It's just the default. It does everything so well. If it's driven well. Oof, rough. Gonna skip Neil's comment. It's gonna get me into trouble. I'm not gonna say that. Neil, be nice. Something I've been thinking about, altitude and cabin pressure effects on headphones. Oh, it definitely changes, you know, your hearing changes if you haven't popped your ears when you're up in the air. That's good. That's good. You know, I should say that's good. That makes a difference because you know, even if you pop your ears now, you're hearing the sound of what's coming in through your ears changes based on popping your ears. So I don't think that affects the headphones, but it does affect your ability to listen. The frequency response of your eardrum is different depending on if you are pressure balanced to the cabin. I also will tell you that my inability to pop my ears is what caught on a flight. My inability to pop my ears during a flight caused tinnitus. That's why I have tinnitus to this day. I got up in the air. I got really sick on this plane, and like a head cold kind of thing, like everything clogged up, and then we took off, and my ears wouldn't pop. And I was in writhing pain the entire flight, like somebody was stabbing my ears. And when I landed, I had a high-pitched sound, and it never went away. It's been there ever since. So pissed. And this was like 10 years ago. It sits at about 10,000 to 10,500 hertz. I have a constant. Oh, so annoying. So annoying. What was the Mass Kobo best at? Taking your money. Best. I bet Mass Kobo was best with headphones that were not so hard to drive. They were best at things like the Caldera, the Meze Elite, very good. They were not as good with the tougher headphones to drive. The LCD-4, the Abyss, I'm about to sneeze. The Sesfara OG, not good. The Modhouse Tungsten, no. That's not where you want to be with the Mass Kobo. But it was really good at driving the things that were a little easier to drive, not incredibly hard to drive, and stuff and it was very articulate. If you like detail, if you listen to jazz, that's the Mass Kobo. That's what it's best at. It's best at classical. It's best at. But if you have driving rock music stuff with a lot of drums, a lot of bass, or you like a bass line that really pops and punches, you're better off with a different amp, in my opinion. But what it does, that articulation, that attention to detail, that ability to resolve the resolution of the amp, maybe one of the best I've heard. By far, Is it 15 grand? Not to me. When that thing's 12.5, nope. Just my opinion. I also didn't particularly care for the styling. I thought it was a little, dated in the styling. But it was great. If you listen to jazz and you like the most detailed thing, and you don't have a hard to drive, really hard to drive headphone, yeah, it's great. It's phenomenal. Great amp. I mean, it's a great amp, period. The other thing, make no bones about it, he owns 5 different headphone amplifiers, and they all sound different. He loves them all. A necessary evil in audio for him. Didn't you say in your video that you preferred the Mass Kobo with the 1266 LCD-4, Mass Kobo 1266 LCD-4 and tungsten? Not over, I don't think over this amp, over the B21, because the B21 has the power to drive those headphones. The 1266, the Mass Kobo 465 was a little light on the punch on the harder to drive headphones. Definitely not Sesfara. It was not a Sesfara companion for my ears. Definitely not. I definitely wouldn't say that about the tungsten. I don't know if I said that about the 1266. And what was I comparing it to? I have to go back and watch the video because I don't remember it. It's like 6 months ago or something. I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. But in my the Kobo was a great amp. I mean, there's no question about it. But at 15,000, 16.5 when I did the review, you need to be able to drive the harder to drive headphones, and it was underwhelming on hard to drive stuff like the tungsten, especially the tungsten. Great articulation though, like one of the fastest, most detailed amps out there, period. It out details this amp, but it doesn't outdrive this amp. I mean, the overall presentation of this, of the B21 took it for me. And I didn't like the styling on top of it. I'm like, I gotta look at this thing, and I gotta live with it. I'm like, I want to be appreciative of how it's built. And I didn't think it was built with necessarily the most high-end parts. You know, the switches were not great. They were not expensive toggles. They weren't even the volume. No, the volume was pretty good, but it was too small. It needed a big volume knob on it. Something like this Molnar. Molnar has the best power, the best volume knob of any amplifier I've ever felt. I mean, both in feel and size and weight. It's a perfect volume knob, the Molnar, but that has that Alps 50 thing on it. And I don't know if they've what it's done, but the action on that knob is amazing. It's just perfect. And then maybe it's the weight of the knob combined with the resistance of the attenuator. I don't know, but something about that is amazing. Mascobo 433 and Utopia is a good combo from his memory. Yeah, if you're into the Utopia sound, absolutely. Still not for me, the Utopia. And that was a headphone that I was dying to get. I was so excited when I got that one. I didn't know any better. Anyway, fellas, so thrilled to get our first live stream out of the way for the year, for 2025. I'm glad you guys could join me on this holiday day. Super excited. I'm going to be shooting in the next couple of days. I'm going to be shooting the shootout video because I'm going to rewrite it, and we'll reshoot this and we'll get that episode cut, and then we're going to do the Ever Solo, and then I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where we're heading because I don't have a plan beyond beyond the Ever Solo. I don't have anything, but I'm super excited to get this to meet with everybody today and get your comments and hear about your holidays and sharing what you bought and what you liked and new music you liked, all that stuff. It was great today. So thank you guys for stopping by. And I'm going to start the goodbye music here in a minute. Outro, play. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And we'll be back again next week. We'll do the live stream again next week. This is fun to get together, on a holiday. Everybody's kind of at home. We're all just kind of hanging out. I'm gonna watch a bowl game. And I watched my Blackhawks last night. It was like, oh, it was so good. The St. Louis Blues thing, the Stadium Series. Wish I would have been there, and then I'm glad I wasn't when I saw the score. They got killed. All right. Cheers, everybody, and have a great rest of your week. And again, everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. We're in a new year now, kicking things off right. Go listen to some good music and enjoy your night. All right. Cheers, everyone. See you before you know it.